Jay, as we evaluate Canada versus America when it comes to job and immigration, tell us first, what are the major cultural differences that you've faced between the US and Canada?
That's a great question, Rob. So when I moved from USA to Canada, and I've been staying in Canada for almost more than 2 years now, I feel the culture is similar to America. Like both the countries are in North America, culture-wise, and when you meet people, when you work in office, the work-life balance, it's similar to America. So I did not see any cultural shock when I moved to Canada in terms of like restaurants, food joints, shopping complex, everything looks it's the same. Like you have the same stores in Canada, and infrastructure wise, architecture wise, it's more or less the same for students and for newcomers. If you want to moving from USA to Canada, don't feel a shock that okay, I'm moving to a different country. Both the countries have a good ties with each other, so everything is the same of how you're currently staying in USA, like same sort of environment, same sort of like a work-life balance, working culture. Weekends, people do shopping, chilling, partying, and then meeting with friends and stuff. And Monday to Friday is your normal working hours. So more or less the culture between USA and Canada is the same. You might feel some differences if you go to the northeast provinces like Quebec, where it's majorly French speaking people. So you will find in that particular province, like the license plates or the street numbers, or even if you go to the restaurant, the menu in the restaurants are in French language, because in that province French is considered as a number one language, and then is English. And across the other provinces, French is the second language, English is the first language. So in some of the northeast provinces, you will find French speaking people. And when you're applying for jobs as well, some companies in their job description will mention, okay, we need bilingual French speaking people as well, because that's something bonus points for you. And even while you're applying for immigration or stuff like that, if you have French, if you know French, then it's added plus value.
Friends, if you want to find out whether America or Canada is better for jobs and immigration, stay tuned. Hey friends, welcome to Shah Coaching. I'm Rob, and at Shah Coaching, we're all about helping you thrive and succeed in your cross-cultural journey, especially when it comes to careers, immigration, and thinking about your future. And then today in this video, we're going to be breaking down Canada versus USA. We've got a great guest who's experienced both as a student, as a professional, crossing the border and building their life here in North America. So Jay, welcome, and please introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, Rob. Myself, Jay Shah. I've been in Canada for more than 2 years now. Previously, I was staying in Dallas, Texas, USA. Stayed there for 5 years. Overall, been in North America for 7 years. I've been currently working in Big Four consulting firm in cybersecurity engineering, and overall I have 8 years of experience. And hope you will like this video where we talk about USA versus Canada, pros and cons, immigration journey, education, lifestyle, work-life balance, and much more.
Yeah, and you started in America as a master's student, and then worked, and then pivoted to Canada, and so you've had a lot of different experience, right?
That's correct. Yeah, I came to USA as a master's graduate student. Completed my master's degree, was on F1 visa, OPT, STEM OPT, and then I moved to Canada, and I'm currently staying in Ontario, Canada.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to learn more and see what your kind of recommendations are at the end between USA versus Canada.
Absolutely.
So for our next topic, Jay, tell us about the major differences in terms of currency and cost of living between US and Canada.
That's a good question, Rob. So over here, the currency of Canada is called as Canadian dollars, similar to what we have US dollars. And we more or less we have the same denominations. $100 is the largest denomination, versus over here it's pennies versus cents. So currency wise, it's same Canadian dollars. You have banking wise as well is a similar structure. We have online bankings, and then we have top 5 Canadian banks over here. So where usually everyone do transactions, and even for your salary slips, compensation, or if you want to when a newcomer or students come in, they create a new account in one of the Canadian banks. So it's a similar structure what we had or what we have in the USA right now. And in terms of cost of living, I would say it's mixed views. In my perspective, cost of living from last 2 years post COVID has increased quite a bit, and it's dependent on various structure and criteria, depending on where you stay, and because over here is more about the geographical area, like over here we have top 5 to 6 cities, considering like Toronto, Ottawa, Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, and Montreal. So these are like top cities. Ottawa is the capital of Canada. Toronto is the financial capital. So these two cities where a lot of IT, it's called financial hub, a lot of banking sectors, IT, tech sectors. So that's why cost of living over here in the cities is pretty high. Versus if you go to far northeast where it's pretty cold and snowy, where the cost of living is pretty less. But then you have to get adjusted to the weather plus different lifestyle. So since if you're coming from city, then these are the top 5 to 6 cities to stay in. West Coast is like Vancouver, and it's similar to what we have in Seattle and California, with the West Coast area. So pretty wise, the cost of living is depending on the city where your job located is, and then your day-to-day lifestyle.
Yeah. So would you say there in the Toronto area, it's similar to cost of living in Dallas, or maybe something different in America?
I would consider cost of living in Toronto is similar to cost of living in New York.
Okay. So New York City, more expensive. So Dallas would be cheaper compared to Toronto.
Dallas will be cheaper. So if you're considering Dallas, and it will be similar to Calgary, which is in Alberta province. So that's where you can see the comparison. And if folks who are watching who are in the north of America, like Minneapolis, Wisconsin, you will find those similar weather in northeast, and even in Alberta, Manitoba, those provinces have the similar weather. So over there, the cost of living will be a little bit less. But Toronto, Ottawa, cost of living is way higher, similar to NYC or even Bay Area, which is San Francisco, San Jose.
Those are some good, helpful comparisons. Next, let's talk about the international student experience and kind of what are the pros and cons for studying abroad, especially as a master's student in maybe Canada versus America.
That's a really great question, Rob. And I get this question a lot from a lot of international students, especially people coming from Middle East countries, Asian countries like India, China, Bangladesh, or even people moving from USA to Canada. Over here, we have a lot of colleges, more compared to universities. Unlike in US, we have like top 10 universities, including Harvard, Cornell, and then Ivy League colleges. Over here, we have more colleges. We do have universities, University of Toronto, University of Vancouver, University of Windsor, Waterloo University, where you have, technical degrees, graduate degrees, MBAs, business school, which are very popular as well. But a lot of students come and get degrees in colleges, either for diploma or postgraduate diploma. So there's two more, popular forms of, you're getting or graduating from colleges, be it in global business management, supply chain, finance, computer science, IT, electrical engineering, or even, bioinformatics. As I mentioned earlier, the top 5 cities, you will find a lot of newcomers, international folks who migrate from various countries and to pursue, higher education over here. So, and whereas in other provinces, you will find, less population of international students. And plus the, study over here, study visa is related to immigration as well. So if you apply for, study visa, or if you want to apply for higher education, you do not need to give GRE. GRE, I think, is only needed for universities, colleges, only IELTS, and that too IELTS academic is considered, or even other forms like Duolingo. That's where colleges are more popular over here in Canada compared to universities. Of course, universities we find students, but because of other factors like tuition fees, scholarships, internship and full-time opportunities, a lot of people go to colleges compared to universities.
Gotcha. And what is the cost in Canada compared to cost for studying in USA, would you say? Is it similar or different?
It's a huge difference. Cost of studying in Canada is much lesser or lower compared to universities in USA. I graduated from Southern Methodist University, so which was like private university and 2 year program. If I remember, it was close to 35 to $40,000 for 2 year program. Whereas over here in university it will be similar, but if you go to colleges, it will be between 20,000 to 25,000 for 2 year program. So some huge difference. That's why students choose colleges. If you want to come to universities, more or less the fee structure and everything will be the same.
That's great. If you're someone who's worried about the US immigration system, or maybe you're running out of your OPT or H-1B visa period, I want to tell you guys about our friends at Syndesis. Syndesis is a company that can help you make your future here in North America. They can help you pivot your US job and work remotely in Canada. They can help you get plugged into the global talent stream and also help you work towards PR and citizenship much faster than you could ever imagine. So Syndesis has helped lots of people not have to leave, not have to go home, find positive alternatives for their career, utilizing their skills and making a home in North America and making that immigration problems go away. So check out Syndesis, see what you qualify for, see what they can help you with. And don't leave it up to chance for your future, for your job, for your immigration visas. Check out Syndesis, my friends. So Jay, unfortunately, it's been a tough economy for a couple of years now in around the world, kind of recovering from the pandemic. But tell us about the job market. What are the key job market differences right now in USA versus Canada?
Yeah, unfortunately and sadly, the market is pretty bad right now in terms of economic and federal interest rates going high. We have seen a lot of layoffs happening in top FAANG companies, plus a lot of startups, and a lot of hiring freeze is also over here as well in Canada. And situation is kind of similar. What is that in US as well? So students who are migrating from USA to Canada are struggling to get jobs in Canada over here as well. Various factors. One is they do not have network over here, no connections. Canadians compared to US are kind of chill, and they keep it light in terms of recruiting. So it's unlike USA where we are constantly hiring. Even in Canada, some cities like Ottawa, Toronto, Montreal, you will feel hiring season going on. Internship opportunities are there, but they are kind of limited. Again, depending on which sector and skills you have. Over here, we do not have so-called STEM. Over here, it's Canada is land for a lot of immigration people and people from different backgrounds and sectors, be it finance, business, labor-related jobs, construction, setting up your own business, working in restaurants, accommodations. So globally, everything is where people work. So in terms of STEM and tech, only major cities right now are hiring. But again, if you have good background, your resume is decent enough, you have good skills, a lot of good experience, then definitely there are opportunities and people are working in as a software engineers, or maybe if you consider us as in consulting, or maybe as an electrical or mechanical engineer. There are companies hiring between retail sector, consumer, finance, and then mining and private equity sector as well, which you see in some of the provinces over here in the west or in the northeast. But overall, before anyone moving to Canada, you have to do your homework. Connect with the recruiters, connect with your friends, to your seniors, or anyone you know in Canada to learn more better about your background. Continue applying in LinkedIn, Indeed, Monster, and those sort of job portals remains constant as well.
Jay, what would you say are the top maybe 2 to 3 industries right now in USA and also in Canada?
Industry and sector-wise, finance, banking sectors, insurance companies, retail sectors. Those are some of those. Anyone product and startup companies that are currently blooming right now. You work in any of the tech fields, or even coming from business or risk consulting. These some of the sectors right now are currently glowing and blooming up.
Awesome. Well, that's great. My friends, if you're learning a lot, hit that like button to say thanks and cheers to Jay for giving this great comparison. And our chai question for you guys is, which country do you think is better for jobs and visas? Let us know in the comment. Do you choose Team Canada? Are you Team USA? Again, let us know in the comments which country do you think is better for jobs, visas, career, immigration. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Next, Jay, let's think a little bit broader. And how do Canada and America relate to India? And what are those kind of country ties like on a kind of national government, foreign relations scale?
A lot of students and immigrants have a fear about okay, how is the new country look like? Am I eligible or able to go back to my home country or go closer to the border? And since US and Canada have a good relationship, both are like friendly countries. They have a good relationship with each other, so I'm able to travel. So as I mentioned, like culture-wise, it's the same between US and Canada, and even like a lot of people coming from India to USA, they have good country ties. If we talk about political and religious, okay, that is something going up always on the news and social media. So not to go too much in depth, but again, like there are US embassies, there are Indian embassies. Right now, a lot of people from Israel and Ukraine or Middle East countries came to Canada. So Canada welcomes people from various countries across the world, be it on student visa, work visa, direct permanent residence, or citizenship. So there are a lot of programs you can enter to Canada. But overall, Canada has a good ties, be with India, USA, or even Middle East countries. Yeah, and even if you want to travel to USA, if you have a visitor visa, you can just drive to one of the borders. If you're near to the northeast border, we have border which is Niagara border, where you can a lot of people just drive and go to New York, visit Times Square, or if you are in Vancouver, go to Seattle. So that way, lesser restriction, you can just drive, come back within the same day, or just stay for a longer day as well. So that way, US and Canada have strong ties.
That's great. And some people maybe come just to study for a bit or work for a little bit and go home, but many maybe want to plant roots, make a career, and eventually immigrate. So between US and Canada, what are the differences for people who want to pursue citizenship, permanent residency, and look for a future abroad?
A lot of newcomers coming for bachelors, they have a curiosity, okay, I don't want to just study, I just want to stay longer, settle, build up my career, build my company, and just settle in Canada. And no country is good or bad. All countries has pros and cons in terms of cost of living, immigration. In Canada, it's, I would say, straightforward compared to USA. In USA, we have F1 visa, you have OPT, and then you have to go through H1B, and then come into the green card pool. We have a lot of L visas, H visas, and then going to getting I-140 and green card and stuff. Over here, it's pretty straightforward. You get a student visa, you get a work visa, you apply for permanent residentship, you fulfill the criteria of permanent residentship, and then you are on the route of getting citizenship. So it's a pretty straightforward path. Again, there are a lot of conditions you have to fulfill. Do check out the links in the comment section below. There are a lot of resources and links as well, which I'll be posting. So do refer, connects you directly to the IRCC portal, Government of Canada and Immigration portal, where you can see what are the various parts of newcomers coming directly on student visa versus permanent residency. So if you are coming in a niche criteria like healthcare or nursing, the chances of getting PR more, because right now certain provinces require skills and require people who are in those backgrounds. So that is just as an example. But there are a lot of other things as well. So a lot of recently in the Middle East, a lot of countries are getting affected because of war and stuff. A lot of immigrants from those countries are currently migrating to Canada on different visas. So overall, it's a straightforward path, but there are some conditions and criteria to fulfill. You need to get a good CRS score, and you have to fulfill a lot of points. Be it in terms of age, your field, your education, your work experience, your background, and then a lot of stuff is there. So in the upcoming video, definitely check out more about immigration route to Canada. But apart, if you just in a nutshell between US and Canada, a lot of differences. It's we need to it's good to get educated in terms of knowing the immigration cycle and study cycle, because both kind of relates to each other: study visa versus work visa versus your permanent residency route.
Definitely. So many factors to consider. Everyone's situation is unique. It's not a simple yes, no, this or that. So you have to really do your research. Talking to immigration attorneys is really important. Highly recommend that as well. But as we've covered culture, costs, education, jobs, visas, Jay, in your quick opinion, maybe a summary here, what would you say is best when it comes to jobs and immigration between Canada and USA? Is there a winner? What do you think?
There is no winner or loser over here. It's basically where each one has to settle, or each one has to explore a country. Some comes to study and go back to their home country. Some comes, stay for a longer time, go back to USA. There is a trend right now seen as a reverse migration, reverse immigration as well. People moving from Canada, going back to Middle East countries, or going back to India from. So there is a lot of changes are happening. People from Canada, people from USA come to Canada, get PR, get citizenship, and move back to USA on TN visa. So a lot of movements are happening. It's basically where you want to land, where you want to grow your career, and then just walking, meeting with people, and building your community connections, and then I would say making a better working world.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. And my friends, again, if you're curious about the tech job opportunities in Canada, or if you're running out of visa space and want to try and pivot your job from US to Canada, check out our friends at Syndesis. I'm sure they can help you out, see what you can qualify for. And also, Jay and I were making another awesome video about why so many students are going from USA to Canada. What are the conditions? What are the reasons? So check out that link we'll be sharing. But that might answer some big questions about studies and jobs after studies between USA and Canada. But Jay, this has been amazing. I learned a lot, that great compare contrast. So thank you so much for sharing your own personal experience and journey and wisdom for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And folks, if you have any questions, do comment. We'll get back to you. Connect me on LinkedIn, Instagram, and if you have any questions. And definitely check out our resources and links to various government and social sites.
Yeah, we'll have all these links in the video description. Like Jay said, be sure to connect with us on Instagram, LinkedIn. I know Jay also shares a lot of great other resources there as well on social media. We've got a great newsletter with Chai and Coaching that we want you guys to be a part of as well for special resources and tips. Thanks for being part of this community. We love having you tune in, and we'll see you guys next time at Chai and Coaching. Cheers, everyone.